Yeah. Hello, my name is Ole Kristoffer Haga.
Hi, my name is Kevin Tan. We are from Game School in Norway University.
And we're gonna have this short introduction now to virtual reality and augmented reality, like a basic introduction course. VR and AR is the worldwide market size for AR and VR is forecast to $18.8 billion in 2020, and is expected to increase even more the upcoming years. Those large tech giants like Facebook has acquired Oculus VR. They did that in 2014, and it's now they are beta testing a virtual social platform for VR, which is called Horizon. Also, Microsoft is more like to the enterprise industry. They have released their latest version of the HoloLens, which is gadget for AR, MR. And also Apple is rumored to launch their hardware soon. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's rumors about Apple glasses and also about VR headset. I will now give you a short introduction to VR, virtual reality. So see you in the next image. VR, virtual reality, is the use of computer technology to simulate an alternative reality. The content, the virtual environment, could be 360 degrees video capture, or it could be 100% artificial, like made with computer graphics. The perception of being present somewhere else can be achieved by so-called cave systems, where images are projected on the walls in a dedicated room. But most usual is the use of VR headsets, also called HMDs, head-mounted displays. The way a VR headset works is that it usually has two small screens, one for each eye, which gives you a sense of depth and 3D. And of course, covering your eyes with a VR headset will block your real-world surroundings, making it easier to immerse with the content compared with watching something on a flat screen. VR is interactive and is often controlled by hand controllers and your head movements, since the VR headset will track your head motion. Some headsets have also started to support hand gesticulation, which removes the need for input device. VR technology is largely driven forward by the game industry, but in recent years it has found its way to many other fields. Interactivity and the sense of being immersed somewhere else makes it a great tool for education, and has also been increased use in military and medical training. VR can be used in anything from pre-visualization of large construction sites in full-scale 3D to training on dangerous tasks and scenarios. Since the headset is blocking your vision, a VR experience can give the impression of being someone else, your avatar. This makes it also a tool for practicing soft skills and interpersonal relationships. The last months of a global pandemic has also seen a need for more online communication and digital meeting places. VR can also be used for online meetings and collaboration. In most cases, VR provides stimulus to two of the senses, to the vision and the hearing. So in most cases, when you touch something in VR, you won't actually feel anything. But there are lots of ongoing research on providing more haptic feedback in VR, for example, haptic gloves and haptic suits. And there's also been experimenting with in VR with taste and with smell. That pretty much sums up the virtual reality. Now I give the word to Kevin to talk about augmented reality.
Hi. So before I start, let me just show you something through the lens of my mobile phone. Okay, shall we? Hi, it's me in the digital world. This is about introduction to augmented reality. Hope you will understand more about augmented reality in the next few minutes. Let's have a look at the next example of augmented reality. Let me point that where it is you can find it, just outside here. You will see something from the plant, just like me being augmented. Enjoy! I will see you later. Welcome again to this introduction to augmented reality sessions. You have seen 3 different apps that actually augment the reality. So those are, one of them is actually I augment myself with a different facial hair and so on. And the second one is I actually augment my colleagues' plants with some certain characters. And the third one is actually I augment one of my toys with some special effects besides of this the toy itself. So what we did is we actually tried to make the reality with some kind of effects on top of it. Okay, so that is what augmented reality means. So how does it actually work? Let's go back to very basic. I'm sure you've seen barcode when you do grocery shopping. You have seen QR code somewhere at the station as such. So how do they actually work? Augmented reality actually works very similar concept like that. Okay, so you have the barcode or QR code, the computer with a scanner or webcam, read in the data or read in the barcode with certain software that actually able to recognize barcode or QR code. But recognize those barcode QR code is almost useless without a purpose. So the purpose is actually coming from hard drives with information or the cloud. And with the purpose coming feed into it and the recognitions data being matched. And what you get is the data like the description of the product, the cost of the product, okay, or the website, or etc. that you like to do. Although we are not actually changing the reality, we actually retrieve certain information based on the recognitions. That's almost like changing reality itself, because we actually have extra information on top of just the barcode or the QR code. So computer programs or algorithm these days can read more than just QR code or barcode. We can get a computer algorithm to actually recognize a picture, and that allows us to augment that picture, to add virtual characters into it, become a augmented reality storybook. The characters can actually move around like we saw in the earlier examples. Or we could actually augment a board game to add characters to allow us to have much more fun with the games rather than just cards. So the imagination can actually be a lot more visual rather than just in the mind itself. Or we could actually just get a recognition from a GPS satellite and allow us to know where are we And we actually augment the reality itself by adding virtual character within the surrounding, or having a satellite plus the building recognition itself. Google actually done, which is the AR version of the Google Map, allows us to know what building are we close by, and so that we know that we are in the correct directions, because this building looks like what is on the map itself, and the map actually recognizes the building structure, and even can actually have a virtual avatar to actually help you, direct you as well. Besides all these recognitions of it, then one of the most intriguing and interesting one is recognize face. Because once you recognize a face, you can do a lot more interesting things. Once you know where's your eyes, where's your nose, where's your mouth, then what we did is we actually, like what we saw just now, we put a facial hair on top of my face, which Snapchat has it. Okay? So it's a lot more fun in terms of looking just your face, but now you can actually play around with the face. And how about recognize algorithm that actually recognize shapes, not just picture, but shapes, flat ground, or a wall itself. Okay, so these days you can actually have an augmented reality planning software, allows you to actually do measurements, add certain objects within, and so on. We'll look at it in more detail. So as long as you can actually have something to recognize, and you add extra information into the surrounding, then you are actually doing augmented reality applications. Okay, so it's, instead of immerse into the virtual reality, now you have a virtual characters inside the real world. So you augment the real world. So because you recognize certain shapes or patterns, and you change the reality. So one of the examples that I can show you is I actually augment this colleagues is using just the pattern for the hand. I'm actually able to actually zoom into the virtual skeleton itself, become a muscle. And we actually see how muscle works, because we're actually going to have a virtual muscle. So you can see that the muscle tensions move differently while you're actually doing all this movement. Okay, by having to see it visually, it makes learning a lot more fun compared to just reading a books or watching just a video. Okay? Watching videos, you don't actually able to do it interactively, but now with this augmented reality pattern recognitions, you can actually do it interactively. Okay, so it's a lot more fun and then interesting to learn. Another one is about tourism. So this is actually a map and also a salt, sea salt that my colleague given to me. And I don't actually eat salt myself. So looking at it, okay, hang on a minute, this is actually quite a nice place. I look at the brochures, catalog is quite nice. And I quickly just try to put something that belongs to that area, which is duck. If you fold it up, it's actually, let's talk about the ducks. So I thought, why don't we just put some virtual ducks character on top of it? So this is what happened. Now, very simple. Once you pick up the pattern, pick up the sea salt bottle recognitions, and the duck will appear. Okay. So Obviously, there's some sound and so on. You can see that that is where the usefulness about augmented reality, which you can actually just use a phone, pick up the pattern, and off you go. You can have loads of different virtual information on top of it. So for this case, I'm just putting some virtual ducks, and to show people that these are the ducks that are available to view if you are there. Okay, probably not the same type of duck farm that I put it in. And retails sectors also use augmented reality. So for in this case here, although it's just a barcode scanner, but barcode scanner in terms of going to the web and look for information about, and also look for prices, compare it. Okay, so this is a Uno, and then look at the barcode, scan it in, off we go, and then we get all the prices available. So this is from Amazon, but it also compare with eBay as well. Okay, so this is one example that make my life a lot easier in terms of using this type of technology. Or IKEA also allows to use augmented reality before we buy the product. Since IKEA know the dimension of the furniture, of each of the furnitures, so it can actually let us to try it out in AR. And now you can see that I'm trying to put a big sofa in my office, and you can see them, it didn't actually fit at all. So it's a good thing I didn't go to buy it, because else my colleague was not able to come into my office without climbing over the sofa. But I could actually get this chair. Why don't we look at it, see if the chair fit? If I look at it, it's quite nice. I could put it by the glass. So when someone come in, you can go straight away sit by the door. Okay, remember the 1 meter distance. So by the door to my office chair is actually quite longer than 1 meter. So they can, instead of standing by the door, they can actually sit by the chair. But I know the chair works because of I see it in the reality that augmented by the applications. So the chair is virtual for now, but I know that when I buy the new chair, the chair will fit the side it's shown. Our AVR course students from last year has done quite a few augmented reality applications. So like this one here is about little children's songs called Sleeping Bear. So I'm sure you know the song. So this is what. So again, you can just use any other flat ground, and this is using flat ground. As long as detected flat ground, then you can place the virtual characters inside and so on. At the same time, we also have other applications. For instance, the first one here is actually augmented reality of the virtual campus in university campus that we can actually see in 360 video as well. And the next one is as a fox tails. I'm sure you probably know about this fox tail if you are Norwegian. So the student actually use the pattern recognitions and tell the story about the fox tail. And this is work with Arts Museum in Haga, and that is also using some kind of pattern recognitions and allows to see what's inside the art museum without actually going into it. And before you sort of realize that, oh, this is really nice, I want to see it in real life, you can actually go there to experience the reality of it. So augmented reality is tons of potential. Okay, so it's just your imagination. Remember, their algorithm allows to recognize a lot of different things, different shapes, different pattern, different using the GPS location and such. But what are you going to augment? The reality is up to you. Okay, so I hope you understand about the about augmented reality, and I'll see you next session.
So you have heard from Ulla talk about virtual reality, which is fully immersed with all the virtual surrounding virtual objects. You won't able to see any of the real world objects. And you have heard me talk about augmented reality, which is that we try to overlay a new the virtual objects on top of the real world objects. So when you are overlaying in onto the real world objects, this is something, even though as interesting as it can be, we have this problem. And if you look at the pictures that the augmented of myself with has, notice that the hand never go across my virtual hair, because the hair is being overlaid on top of this real world. So it doesn't matter how far I move my hand forward, the hair, the virtual hair, is always in front of the real world objects. So it's the same with the IKEA situations, that the virtual chairs is always in front of something. We cannot get it behind of another things. So this is where the downside of the augmented reality. While it's interesting and fun and take less resources to take care of this, there must be another technology or another reality can do where the real world object can also be the front virtual objects. No longer that the virtual objects always be the front that of the any of the real world objects. So what kind of reality is going to be to have this type of situation where we can actually have real objects in front of the virtual objects? Okay, so this is where mixed reality is. So mixed reality is where the processing can actually try to track where is the real object, where is the virtual object we would like to be. So virtual object never always be at the front. We can put it at the back, put it underneath the table if we need to. So if you put it under the table, then you don't see it. You will know it's there, but you don't see it because it's underneath the physical objects. Okay, so you can have a virtual chairs under the real table, and you want to see it. You can put it on top of the real table, and obviously that we will see it. But mixed reality can detect, track this type of movement or positioning, so that is much more advanced than just augmented reality that always overlay on top of the real object. So the virtual object always overlay, but in mixed reality you don't. So at the moment, the popular one can actually provide this type of mixed reality experience is actually the HoloLens from Microsoft. And they recently released HoloLens 2. And the headset itself is actually a computer. Okay, that's why it's a lot more powerful resources to calculate this type of sort of should one overlay the other. So the headset actually try to track the whole room to know the distance and so on, so that you can actually move virtual objects behind another a real object that you can get occluded, means that you don't see it or see half of it, and so on. Okay, while augmented reality cannot do that, but this in mixed reality, especially in this HoloLens, we can. Okay, so this is a video from Julia Schwartz from Microsoft demoing the HoloLens 2. So she's wearing, so you can see that what she's seeing is the virtual icons inside the HoloLens, and she can actually try to sort of find out the boundary of this icon, and then try to probably do some transformation, like zoom in, zoom out, and so on, and turn around. And all this done as a part of the interactivity of it. While mixed reality allows you to do that, but augmented reality gives you a very limited experience of doing so, because augmented reality is much more allow you to overlay information rather than really interact with the objects. While you still can do so, but it's very limited. But the main really difference is that augmented reality always overlay in front of the physical world, while mixed reality allows you to interchange one another depending on the distance from real objects itself. So finally, we come to this another terminology called extended reality. So another short term is called XR. So what is actually XR? In simple terms, XR means any reality. Okay, any reality means that it could be virtual reality, VR. It could be augmented reality, AR, or it could be mixed reality, MR, or any reality that can be created in the future. So XR is much more the terminology to be ready for the future as well. So it's not really the true existing technology. It's just a term that is interchangeable terms to represent any reality, VR, AR, MR, or any of the reality that can be maybe created in the future. Okay.
Thank you. That was our short introduction to virtual reality and augmented reality. Hope you have enjoyed what me and Kevin has made for you. We just want to thank you for your attention, and we wish you a nice conference, either physical or digital.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.